It was midnight on an ordinary Saturday night when I woke in a dreadful panic. Sweating and shaking, I sat up in bed. The feeling was so intense I expected to find something terrible had happened. But all was quiet. I woke up my wife and tried to explain what I was feeling. It was like my heart had rung the alarm bells for no reason. Finally, after calming down, I fell back asleep. The next night, the same thing happened, only this time I couldn't fall back asleep. The next day, I was a zombie. Fear worked through me like a virus. I dreaded the moment that night when I would have to lie back down with my panicked thoughts. Sure enough, that night it happened again, which is why I ended up in the emergency room at 3 in the morning. The doctor told me nothing was wrong, that I was just showing symptoms of clinical anxiety and panic attacks. He assured me, as if it were comforting, that this was very common. So he gave me a bottle of sleeping pills and told me I needed to slow down. Of course, I had no idea how to slow down. Everything is fine. As far as I knew, I wasn't stressed or worried about anything. Everything was fine. After graduating from college, I married my wonderful wife, and we moved to China, where we served as missionaries for a few years. We would have stayed even longer, except that something very unusual happened. One day, while out on a walk, in the space of 10 minutes, I came across a drug dealer, a prostitute, a thief, and a government protester. Guess which action stood out the most? Openly selling drugs on the street? Nope. Prostitution. Getting rid of stolen electronics at bargain prices? Guess again. All three of these activities were normal in China. I'd seen them hundreds of times, and they were viewed as legitimate ways to make money. But in the years we'd lived in China, I'd never seen a political protest. The consequences for opposing the government are way too high. Yet, there she was. I watched as a young woman unfurled a sign that said, "The judicial system in China is broken. The people in the countryside are being oppressed." I never got to read the rest of the sign, because the woman was quickly arrested and taken away. As I continued my walk, I reflected on the 4 activities I just witnessed. 3 would have been considered against the law in many countries, and only 1 was a brave act of love for a neighbor. Yet the young woman who stood up for oppressed people was the only one punished. And that didn't sit well with me. That was the day I realized the power that law and business have to shape the world.